go?
Ready.
Press.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Dave Morandi.
Here.
Trustee Lynn Miller.
Here?
Trustee Marie Early.
Here.
Francis Murphy.
Here.
Trustee Steve Voloto.
Present. Okay, now that we got that straight. Welcome, everyone. Let's see. We've already gotten through 2 of our agenda 14, so that's going good, right?
Getting around.
Okay, let's see. We're to the side. Recreation Commission, they were busy, as everyone knows, Bruce was down at the riverfront with the trees that all got blown over, unfortunately. So here's his report. Meeting Tuesday the 17th, started with Jennifer Zwark and the tree committee. She explained the duties and worked at the tree advisory board. End of sentence. We discussed tree work plans that we have for park trees. She's supposed to be same as to village trees and tree inventory. We will plan on meeting again shortly in 2018. Wedding that was planned to cancel in October due to sickness of requesters in law was discussed at lower. I think I need another interpreter here. Anyway, I'm gonna skip some of that. Mayor's Park Pavilion was winterized. Main Street Visitors bathroom parts were purchased, and I made some repairs. Estimates were very high and are now still being considered for future work needed. Recent windstorm damage. The morning after the heaviest of the winds at the waterfront, I visited all park areas. Tots Park, okay. Mary's Park, okay. Dockside, large limb down. Not sure why we're down there. That's not our park yet. Waterfront Park, 3 willows were uprooted. Contacted village office as to insurance and was told Trustee Murphy was already in touch with the insurance company. Clerk forwarded me the email with insurance information. I also contacted the insurance company and reviewed our coverage. 1 got preliminary approval to plan on cutting up and clearing all 3 trees from the insurance company. Got preliminary approval to plan on additional work to remove most roots and all stumps, fill in and grade all 3 locations from the insurance company. Made necessary arrangements with local contractors to complete both 1 and 2. Sent pictures to Jen's work or tree board. Notified members of rec commission of this and met with some at site. Met with TAB on site and discussed multiple topics. Replacement of trees will be researched and a plan put in place. The remaining standing willow will be checked by professionals on the TAB. The plan as of 11/9 is to continue work on replacements. Meeting with local tree landscaping companies who specialize in planting of large trees will happen the week of November 13th. Insurance issues, pavers, and remaining work plans will be put in place after the proper recommendation for tree replacement and other safety concerns are coordinated and met. Met with Trustee Murphy and insurance adjuster on site and discussed all of the above. We'll send additional information to the village clerk as plans are worked and coordinated. Should have some preliminary plans by November 17th. Large limb down at Dockside was cut and removed by Rusteria. Next meeting, Tuesday, November 21st. Thank you, Bruce. I believe the other willow that's standing, from what I heard from Jen, was that she had that checked out and they believe that with proper pruning it should be able to stay there. They weren't recommending cutting it down. So some people had said they noticed when the wind blew that actually you could see the roots moving and the pavers, so there was concern for that one also. ZBA monthly report, 126 Main is pending, 59 Parrot Street, there has been a complaint from the neighbors of 59 Parrot Street. At this point, ZBA has no action in this matter. We only would like to add that they supported the ZBA decision, based on drawings at that point in time. These drawings did not have any indication of exhaust fans and or air condition placement. Is anyone familiar with that?
This is the studio, the garage that was converted to the studio. It's Margaret Whelan's old house.
And they have go ahead, sorry.
So there were apparently some outside additions that weren't part of the plan.
Okay. New leadership for ZBA. I met with the board last night and announced that I would be officially resigning at the end of the month. I also announced that Aaron Wolf would step into the chairman position. We discussed this transition and how to move forward smoothly. Board of Trustees needs to confirm Aaron as chairman, which we have, and of course we need to continue to look for replacements on the board. Submitted by Greg Gunder. Village Cultural and Historic District Review Board. Would you like to, are you here for that or no? Yes? No? You're for later
I'm
on?
actually here for the contract.
Okay,
person, yeah.
I'll go through this.
However, I'll answer questions if there are any.
Okay. Current applications, we're finally beginning to see a slight slowdown in regular applications as the cooler weather settles in. We currently have 2 secret reviews underway. Excuse me. With our consultant AKRF, we have reviewed part 1 and completed part 2 of the environmental assessment form for both 126 Main and 35 Market, and those applications are completing part 3 for continued review. In addition, the proposed rehabilitation of Kemble House, 20 The Boulevard, has also been classified type 1 and will undergo secret review with HDRB as lead agency. As the chair communicated to the mayor, we have recommended a consulting firm to guide us through that review as well. Once the trustees approve the recommendation, we can begin the review of the submitted environmental assessment form. Design standards update. The State Historic Preservation Office determined that our work on the design standards update was substantially complete and considered our contract fulfilled for the purpose of certified local government grant that funded the project. The final report was reviewed by the village treasurer, signed by the mayor, and submitted by the village clerk. We expect the next draft of the standards to be submitted to us on Tuesday, November 14th, and hope to have the document ready for public review by the end of December. Ordinance revision. Submitted as an addendum to this report is our final draft of the updated Chapter 64. It incorporates feedback from the village attorney and the trustees. If you have any questions as you prepare to hold a public hearing, for this code update, please let us know. We hope that the public hearing will be held at your earliest convenience. It would be great to get this project wrapped up the year end as well. Respectfully submitted, Vice Chair Kathleen Foley. Tree Advisory Board. Jen's not here. It's so sad no one comes anymore. We have to do something about that. Report of the Village Board of Trustees. Tree Advisory Board held its monthly meeting 10/25. We reviewed a number of ongoing projects and reported on a new tree donation in collaboration with Rec Commission. We held our meeting before the unfortunate storm damage and loss of the willow trees in Waterfront Park had occurred. But we have, in the interim, been in constant contact and are collaborating with Rec Commission Chairperson on the evaluation of the remaining single willow and replanting plans. More on that topic will be in the next monthly report. Also, we have received preliminary word that the Cold Spring Area Chamber of Commerce has graciously agreed to partner with the village on a test area project in relation to the Main Street beautification project. We look forward to direction from the mayor on how the TAB can assist. Miscellaneous items of interest. The replanting project associated with tree cutting application by Sarah DeFranco, 230 Main Street, has been completed. The project removed 43 small yew trees that have been growing in close hedge-like row from village from village-owned property adjacent to 230 Main and replace these with an approved planting of suitable shade trees and understory trees. 1 Norway maple, 1 Norway spruce tree, 2 scarlet oak trees, 1 sweet gum tree, and 4 native serviceberry trees. These trees represent a significant investment in the future of this public parcel. The TAB wishes to thank the property owners, Mr. Franco and Mr. Reeves, for their collaboration on improving this site. Main Street beautification. We reviewed the installation work of the first phase of the new tree guards around 6 trees on Main Street and discussed the forthcoming work to complete the project, which includes adding custom brass plaques and refinishing the walking surfaces adjacent to each new guard. Next, we reviewed bids for the priority pruning work and thanked the Village Board of Trustees for reviewing these and awarding the contract. We'll be coordinating with Phillipstown Tree Service on the job, which will be completed in the next 2 weeks. Next bullet point, we reviewed the status of Village Tree Walking Tour project in light of some small changes that needed to be made to the tree selection. Next bullet point, our chairperson attended the Recreation Committee's monthly meeting in October to present an overview of the Tree Advisory Board work and record keeping and to discuss collaboration between both boards. We agreed on the most efficient procedures that will be followed and had great discussion. And finally, in coordination with the Rec Commission, TAB oversaw the donation planting of a new shade tree in McConville Park, strategically placed in one open planting site adjacent to the Tots Park fence. The donation was made in memory of a local resident and friend of the park, Jody Fardico, who passed away this past April, and a small plaque was installed at the base of the tree. We thank the Fardico family and the village residents who gave generously to make this lovely addition to the park possible. Please find September suggested work plan for your consideration attached. And I will not read that.
I'm sorry, if, in the suggested work plan,
Mhm.
this was gonna be coordinated with the Phillipstown Highway Department?
I think they're bringing they're bringing the stump grinder.
Okay, that makes sense. And
Lot of stumps.
in the first paragraph of the report, it says, "We look forward to direction from the mayor on how the TAB can assist." This is with the Cold Spring Area Chamber of Commerce, a partnership. Do you know anything?
I'm meeting with the chamber this week, but
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's what she's referring to.
Okay.
They must have talked to her and said that.
Sure.
What they
Makes
said,
sense.
I had talked to Jack Goldstein, and who's, I believe, their treasurer, and he said that at their last meeting, they agreed to donate $400 for bricks, I think,
Nice.
to finish one of the sites. So
Nice.
I'm meeting with them Friday, and we can further talk. What's that?
You skipped.
What's that?
You skipped it.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was just going by, I was just flipping pages there.
You can read my report if you want.
What's that? Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at the agenda, I was just going through the papers I had here, so sorry. Okay, so we don't have anything for planning, zoning, Bob, Town of Phillipstown, sorry.
Phillipstown,
I
okay.
apologize.
That's no big deal.
I can see you're getting really angry.
As you say, you wanna read mine, you can. Good evening, everybody. Okay, a couple things we have going on. As I indicated last month, the Climate Smart Community, we appointed Roberto Mueller as the coordinator. He came in and presented to you about 2 weeks or so ago. And if you're still interested in that, I'm sure you could probably just become part of ours, and it should be pretty easy for you guys to move forward if you'd like, just a suggestion. Okay, the annex building I've been reporting on the last several months. We're almost there. Okay, the last thing that needs to be done is we got a filing system and built that new room. So we're waiting for that filing system to be installed. Everything else is basically completed. I was down there this morning, did some last networking pieces there. The oil burner still needs to be some work on it, but we plan on having everything completed and hopefully be in there by mid-December. The building came out pretty nice. Everyone drive by and look at it, but the building I thought looks very nice. Came out really, really good. Last month I reported on Manifestation Road. We're going to move forward with permits or no permits. We got the permit yesterday, so the work started. The work started today, as a matter of fact. So the plan is to get that one area that's constantly flooding out, built up at least for the winter time. And if we have a good winter, we continue to move forward, but that's the plan. So we do have all the permits. There's stoplights down there, so when the work going on, and there's gonna be one lane closed, there's a stoplight at each end, so people have to stop, wait for the green light, and then cross over. But the work did commence, started today, so that's a good thing.
Been a long one.
And that's been a real long time. And I said last month we were gonna start with the round permits, but got the permit yesterday, so. Okay, yesterday we had a big meeting down at the rec center, our ZBA, regarding the cell tower on Vineyard Road, which I reported on last month. We had it down at the rec center because there was quite a few people who were interested in it about it, so we had a public hearing yesterday. Quite a few people got up and spoke their mind and so forth like that. Nothing's been decided yet. It was also decided that the public hearing will remain open. It'll be another continue on December 11th. It'll be at the rec center again. Dave, you were down there. I believe I saw you down there last night. So as you can see, there's quite a few people there. Okay. Oh, our budget. We completed our budget. We're at $71,000 under the cap. So we're below the cap as we always need to be. We'll probably approve, most likely we're gonna adopt the budget this coming Thursday. The total budget is $10,868,412. So again, I think we've been doing a pretty good job of keeping everything under the cap the last several years. In our part to help the opioid epidemic in our community here, we created a paid position for a resource coordinator of prevention, it's called, a resource officer. So we're looking to get somebody in on a part-time basis to help out families or anyone who needs with this opioid epidemic that it's all over the place. It's not just here, it's all over the United States. Every community is going through the same thing. So we thought this would be helpful, at least help people who get in trouble or try to keep people out of trouble before they get anything. And if they do come across any needs, hopefully that resource person can direct them to what they need to do, because when these things happen, people don't really know where to turn. So hopefully this is going to help our community. We did get 3 or 4 resumes today already, so we have quite a few people who are interested in the position. So we'll probably start those interviews sometime next week. Another thing here. Oh, also, I attended the balloon test up in Nelsonville about a week and a half ago. Was up in right behind the cemetery. I just stopped by to check things out. I did take a picture. If you walked into the cemetery and looked up, that balloon was pretty noticeable. Much more noticeable than the one on Vineyard Road. So I don't know, but they were also looking at alternative sites, which I'm sure everyone's aware about, in Nelsonville behind the American Legion building. So they're looking at that, and that may be hopefully an alternative location for that. Also, the community congress that we had a couple of months ago, it's been over the last several months. If everyone got a ballot in the mail or did a survey of what the town really looking to needs, the top 3 priorities were: number 1, a bike and walking trail, which hopefully maybe the 4J trail would probably accommodate that. Number 2 on the list was clean drinking water, which we have a lot of discussion about it as well. And the 3rd item, most popular, was a teen center. I don't know what we're going to do about a teen center, but we talked to the rec department about this months ago, and it seems that when kids get to like middle school, the programs that they have down there, the kids don't attend. So we tried different programs down there, movie night, this and that. They're just not popular for some reason or other. So I don't know what we're going to do about a teen center, but there were 3 topics that came up. That's it.
Where's Vineyard Road?
Over Route 9,
Where?
right across from the
South from Magazino.
Magazino, right
Oh,
there.
south of, okay.
Yeah, just south of Magazino there. It's up there. It's like, I think it's 94 acres, something like that, the whole entire.
Who owns it?
Chris Fadden owns most of it. He has a house laying on top. He no longer lives there though. The house is for sale. I think there's only 1 or 2 other houses up on that road.
Thank you.
All right.
I think regarding that, the people that were doing from Verizon or whoever, I don't even know, who's it, Verizon or
The tower
the
company,
tower,
yeah.
whoever the tower companies seem to just forget about the people on Rockwall Road, which is in direct view.
They're closer than anybody.
Than anyone there.
Yeah.
But they weren't in their review, or so the Paul Eldridge is one of those members, and Bob Bickford, and are gonna be affected by it greatly, in fact, right in their backyard, pretty much, from what Paul Elder said.
Well,
So,
the day that the blue test, I happened to go to that one too, and Ron Gainer went out to all those locations on that road and took pictures from the house. I haven't seen those pictures yet. I think the report was there last night, but no one really got a chance.
yeah, they have to supply us simulated photos of the
blue.
tower
Yeah,
from all,
angles, and from other people's.
Is it an
People-
issue? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, from anyone who has a concern about their property with, addressed, well, hopefully they went to their house, took pictures from their backyard, your deck and so forth like that, to see what it would look like.
Is it about signal strength? Is that the
No,
purpose
the
of this
biggest
tower?
concern is the tower itself.
No, I mean,
Oh.
is that why they need another tower? I mean, like, I
Well,
don't understand what
last
their,
night
what their motivation
They
is.
said they had they don't have to prove that there's gaps in services, they said last night. So, they said that, they don't have to prove that.
How far is the strength, like if we put a tower way out on Route 9 by Magazino, is that gonna aid the village or Nelsonville, or, I mean, it seems to me that it's far out.
Supposedly, well, I don't think you can go all the way to the village, so what's better by trying to put another tower here in the village, right? So I don't know I don't know the radius of these things. I'm sure the higher they are, the more coverage they got, right? And supposedly new technologies are supposed to have stronger signals and so forth like that. But I heard that the one on Minya Road, they want to put it over there as opposed to the, we really like to have it at the town landfill if we possibly could. They said that right now it's not a viable site, and they said they needed to reach the river. I'm saying, well, if they needed to reach the river, this is about a half mile closer, so it didn't make sense. Some of the answers you get down there just don't make common sense to most people. And I'm no cell tower expert or cell phone expert or anything else, so it's tough for me to say.
there is a group, I'm not sure if it was the Rockwell, residents or not, that have, hired an attorney that is pretty much gonna fight it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were signing petitions outside of Food Town last night for
Oh, yeah, that's
offering
right,
it.
they won't.
We'll
We'll
see.
see what happens.
Okay.
No matter where it goes, no one's gonna be happy, so.
I just wondered if we needed it or not.
Yeah, that's.
Well, according to them, they
According to them.
need it, I mean, like, that's what they
Yeah.
said.
Well, why, phones work everywhere in town. They don't work in my basement very well, I've noticed.
No, they
When I
don't
get a
work
call
in
when
my
I'm down
house, they don't work in my business.
Yeah,
I can't make a cell phone call from inside my
Oh,
house.
so you don't have good service.
I have terrible service from Verizon, and we've spent boatloads of money on boosters within the house, set up next to every window, and it still doesn't work.
Well, when you're in your house, you get on your own Wi-Fi, so, for internet access and stuff like that, but not for making phone calls, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
that's
I
the
can
problem.
text from my house, but I can't make a call from my
Yeah.
basement. But I just,
And actually here in our shop on Main Street, I can't make a cell phone call from inside the shop either.
Oh.
So,
If they put the tower in Nelsonville, let's hope, maybe it's gonna improve it for you. I don't know.
where's the one now that's going off of?
Well, I mean, from what I understand last night, there's 9 cell towers in Phillipstown. I don't know where every single 9, but I know of, I think 6. I don't know where the other 3 are. But, we have one in Garrison there, or Polhemus is,
Mhm.
right? There's one down there right on on the line between Westchester and Putnam. Up there, right there, there's that one up there.
Stone
right
House.
That stone house there. Go further up the road, there's one up by Travis Corners Road on 9. There's one up there by Tony Ricky's, electrical, up behind here, there's that one. And there's one down in Polhemus's, down there. And there's one up there in McKeel's Corners. I don't know how to call it McKeel's Corners, because I always thought McKeel's Corners was 9 and 301,
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
so, they're the ones I'm aware of. The Streamward, I don't know where the hell they are.
What about the tower that they put up at AT&T off of 301, just south
Oh,
of
that,
301?
that tower that's been up there forever,
Yes, that one.
I don't know if that, maybe that is, maybe
I
that's
mean,
another
been there
one.
since the 70s.
That was there forever, yes, you're right, they used that for fire and towers and so forth like that.
Now,
That-
I mean,
that-
I can see the towers over at West Point. Don't they provide some level of service to us?
I really can't answer that, I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
The Code Update Committee held 3 meetings in October. All 7 topics for Phase 2 have been completed in draft form. The committee has been working on the presentation for the public meeting and the handouts, which will contain proposed language updates to the village code, which primarily are in chapter 134 zoning, but also affect other chapters. The public meeting for phase 2 has been scheduled for November 15th at the firehouse, which was the schedule when this report was created. Since then, the meeting has been rescheduled to November 29th at the firehouse. Updated advertisements, updated Facebook notices, and updated village emails have been sent out subsequent to this report.
So the reason for that move was that the Nelsonville cell tower, meeting will be happening that night, is that right?
Yes,
So we didn't want that conflict, cause
Well,
people wanted to go to
it's the
both.
planning board, it's the public hearing held by the Nelsonville Planning Board, that is
Right.
tomorrow night.
Where's that to be held?
I think it's at the town hall.
I think it's at the town,
It could be,
the
yeah.
Phillipstown
Yeah,
Town
yeah,
Hall.
you're probably right, that's what it was last time.
Yeah. And that's for the Rockledge site behind the cemetery.
Yeah, I understand.
So that will be a packed house, I guarantee.
I'm sure it will be.
Okay, there was nothing from, or do we have anything from fire company? Steve?
Nothing. No
Sorry,
report.
jumping around there. We don't have anything from the parking committee, although we were at the parking committee meeting a few days, when was that?
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday. We had incomplete information. Everyone was tasked on the committee to go through the streets that, for the residential permits, and one section was not covered, so we really couldn't come up with anything yet. So we're meeting, at our next meeting, hopefully have the information on how many spaces there actually are in those areas, how many buildings there are, how many residents, I guess there'll be, and try to figure out if we can actually, work within the confines of that law that was passed. But unfortunately, the information wasn't all there. Let's see, we have no one here tonight, unusual. Wastewater Department monthly operations report. Let's see, Market Street Pump Station Replacement Project. We have yet to receive a construction schedule from King's Capital Construction Company, and we expect it will arrive with the request for a change order. With winter on the horizon and blacktop plants closing in the next week or two, there is no way for the contractor to complete their work by early February. It would also create a hazardous situation in the north parking lot by having an unpaved project in one of their travel lanes for the entire winter season. The blower building framing began on the east wall of the building recently. We hope to have the project completed by early December. How's that going?
Going great,
Going great?
yeah,
All right.
all by myself down there.
Are you? Oh, you're lonesome?
Yep.
It's gonna get cold down
It was chilly, yeah. Luckily it's metal I'm working with.
there. Yeah, that always helps.
Yep.
Just don't stick your tongue on it. Water Department, Upper Reservoir Dam rehabilitation. We have received tentative dates for Tectonic for a presentation, question and answer session on nights other than Tuesday, as the holiday season is fast approaching. The following dates work for them: Thursday, November 30th, Wednesday, December 6th, Thursday, December 7th, and Tuesday, December 19th. Let me know what works for you and we'll get it set up. Does anyone want to comment on that?
No, but, a comment on, if this is an appropriate time,
Sure.
our schedule for December and January. It seems to me that, we'll not have a meeting on December 26th, which is the day after Christmas.
Right.
And we would not have, the Tuesday following that would be January 2nd, the day after New Year's, and we probably would not have a meeting on that date. So my recommendation is that we schedule for the first 3 Tuesdays in December, and then start it up again the second Tuesday in January.
You run that by me again, sorry.
Sure, so we would do the, December 5th,
Mm-hmm.
December 12th, and
Right.
December 19th for village board meetings.
Right.
We would then take off 2 weeks
Right.
and reconvene on January 9th.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
So we just adding
And I think we should just,
3 weeks.
I don't think there's any urgency in this, I think we should just move this.
To January,
Yeah,
okay.
I think so, unless
I mean,
anyone,
you know, we've been waiting for this for months.
and we really, it's not gonna
Yeah.
help us any because the, DEP just
I know.
came up with a different plan, kind of throwing the wrench in the whole project, so.
But as Fran points out, the Upper Reservoir, the report
Mhm.
will give us an idea of how much it's going to cost
Mhm.
and whether or not there are options that we have to choose between or investigate further. So, you're right, we're not gonna move forward, but there might be, bonding topics or funding topics
Okay.
that could be addressed.
So do we wanna pick a date then?
Sure.
Okay,
I mean,
what's good for anyone, I can
I'm
work with
good
most.
any of these dates. Do we wanna do it on the 19th, since that's
Steve, Lynn, any preference?
Doesn't matter.
No,
Fran, what was yours?
I'm good for any of them, so. I mean, the 19th is a regular, that will be our
That's one of your regular meetings, you just said.
regular meeting, if we wanna do it that night.
I would prefer sooner rather than later in December. Just 'cause my schedule gets really crunchy those last 2 weeks.
So the only dates in December are December sixth and seventh, two non-meeting dates.
All right, you wanna do it the sixth? Is that, on
That's
a
good for
Wednesday?
me.
And let's do it at 7 o'clock?
Okay. I'll give that to Jeff.
Okay, thank you. Following up, New York City DEP connection, we met with DEP representatives a couple of weeks ago. DEP is looking to have us change our design to be incorporated into a project they have slated for 2018. It will involve more effort for design and more money to construct. It also involves a section of their piping that we proposed 5 years ago, and we're told couldn't happen. At that time, they wanted a hot tap. Now they don't. On the brighter side, we are still able to continue with design and permitting phases of the upper dam rehabilitation project. A holdup would only occur if we were ready to go to bid for the project and did not have DEP connection in place. Thanks Greg and Bart Clark especially, they've been really, like, the patience of a saint, because they have to go back and forth with, I don't know, not rational people, as far as I can make out. Building Department monthly report, new building permit applications, 22 received. Building permits issued 15, dumpster permits 1, COs issued 5, title search completed 6, complaints received 3, referrals generated 4 to the HDRB, none to planning and none to ZBA. Fees, application and permit fees collected, $2,447.90 for the month of October. Title search fees collected $450 for October, for a total of $2,897.90.
Just real quick, this year to date, did that start January 1st, or when did that start?
Excuse me?
I think it starts with our current fiscal year.
That's what I was wondering.
That's what I think. Correct, Fran?
I believe so.
Yeah. So figure June, July, August, September, and October.
That's what I thought, was just curious, okay.
We should schedule a meeting after, once things settle down with the
I
building
had asked
inspection.
Jeff to do that, I'll remind him, yeah.
Okay, unless we can do it before, if there's slow, I
Well,
don't know, I doubt it.
no, he said he was, is it Greg?
Greg, yeah,
Very busy,
okay,
right?
Yeah, he's pretty busy.
we're moving into his new digs.
He's starting slowly, moving a couple things here and there.
The highway monthly report, Fran?
Okay, garbage pickup, 52.65 tons, recycling picked up 21.77 tons. They fixed a sinkhole on Northern Avenue, called Valenti Concrete to fill the hole, fixed a hole in front of the catch basin on Northern Avenue, assembled the leaf truck, trimmed trees at the riverfront, plus weed whacked curbs and the brick on the dock, and blew leaves off of the lawn. Fixed trip hazard on sidewalk on Locust Ridge, did grinding of trip hazards on sidewalks throughout the village, painted the center line going up and around Lund Terrace and Market Street, painted 2 no parking spots at the foot of Main Street. Leaf and yard debris pickup, also started leaf cleanup throughout the village with the leaf truck, and did more repairs to the village trucks. Do they have to buy them a painter, they go painting lines or?
A couple of things, the vac, I was talking to Charlie, the vac, motor seems to have blown, or they're not sure what's wrong with that, so that's hindering their leaf pickup as far
They
as,
just purchased a new one,
they just purchased a new one?
a new back
Huh?
pack thingy.
Call it backpack load.
No, this is
This
the
is
one
the
that goes
sucker
for,
Oh,
in-
for
into the truck.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
Eddie
yeah.
created that, didn't he?
He might have, but anyway, so that's being looked into. Also, there's two sidewalks that are finally getting done, they started work on today, Oak Street, there's just a small curb we need to direct the water down, curb, which goes across the driveway and was flooding into these people's houses every now and then, so that's finally being taken care of, and on, Orchard Street, there's a section of, sidewalk that needed to be repaired that the highway department broke up today, and, they were framing out, and they're gonna pour those two sections tomorrow. The, Granite Frisenda's, that was the lowest bidder on that, so those two projects are finally getting done. Let's see, police report.
Good evening. Total number of calls for October 2017 was 70 calls. We had we had 2 arrests again. It seems to be an uptick, as I spoke at the last meeting, for this mental health law 94.1. That entails anybody who's a danger to themselves or anybody else, usually it's mental health and or addiction. We had 1 female that was arrested on our warrant, that was out of Poughkeepsie. They came, we took the person into custody, and Poughkeepsie met us, and we transported them over to them. Total number of tickets for the month were 126, 71 were parking summonses. The uptick in the summonses was due to the walking tour that we have established on the weekend for the C Streak.
Do you
Besides
know how
that,
many additional there was, or the increase?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what the increase was?
The total increase, I don't have with me right now. I did break it down. I have it upstairs. I do apologize for not being prepared. I think, I couldn't give you a best guess right now.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
can
that'd be just,
I'll send it down. When I get it,
Yeah.
I'll pass it on to the board.
so moving forward, we know how the Saturdays kind of are working,
Yep.
although they're being paid for
Yep.
already by C Street.
Nope. 2 little points. I was looking at as of last meeting, I was looking at possibly with prices for the security cameras for outside Village Hall and outside the front of the police entrance. And a couple of the ones I looked at, due to the fact that some of them we need to get more expensive ones, because I've realized that if you get a cheaper one, when it goes below 32 degrees, the cameras will not work. So realistically, for pretty much 4 cameras, I was looking to install, which would mean the back door upstairs, the door right above, when you walk up the stairs to the entrance to our door, 1 down here and 1 to the interview room I would like to have. It's pretty substantial. We're talking anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000
Each or total?
for the system.
Is there any grant money for that?
I will look into that. I wasn't at this time. I haven't researched that out yet. It's going to be an ongoing process. I'm going to try to reach out for the grants and stuff, and hopefully get an answer for you at a later date. The only other thing that two things that were brought to my attention. I brought up, I think, 2 or 3 meetings ago about the Main Street, the lines, solid yellow lines going down the middle of Main Street, to have them repainted. You come here on the weekends and people are all over the place because they don't even see lines going down. So with the traffic, it kind of makes it a little more difficult. And also a couple of complaints about the parking lot, the Muni lot. People at nighttime do not see the cash machine. I'm sure you guys already know about that,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you're aware of that. At this time, we still have 1 officer that is out due to illness, and that is Vinny D'Amato. He's been out for approximately 2 months, and he also just recently had a death in the family that he needs to take care of. He's been keeping me updated on his medical issues, on when he's trying to get back. And at this time, I spoke to him about a week ago, and he said he's still out medical with his other job, which means he has to be out here also. We don't want him back unless he's at full health capacity. And other than that, that's about it.
Larry, what we're doing with the parking lot, I just spoke with them this morning. They are planning to install an LED, a light as part of the parking meter unit. And the light will be a solar powered light. And they're supposed to get me a price within a week for that, as well as a new front panel for the parking meter, so that we don't have to have the credit card only
Gotcha.
plastic in front of that.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, one other thing I would like to look in going forward is a number connected to the job phone that we carry for the village phone for the police department, that if you're a resident and you have like a parking complaint or something that's a non-911 emergency, that you could text the issue to the phone as we're driving around and doing our patrol. This way it can come up on the phone, we can take a look at it, oh, there's a parking problem, down on, Main Street or wherever, and this way the officer can get it right then and there, instead of having to go through them calling the county calling us on the phone, or dispatching us via the radio. Usually they don't use the radio unless it's a 911 call. And I'd like to get that up, if that's available, up on the website, so on the village website, so this way there was a couple of things people had mentioned to me about. So we'll make it a little bit quicker, that they felt that it wasn't an emergency, they didn't wanna call 911 for it. I think that would help out the village and the with the police department and the residents, it would be a very good tool to have.
Yes.
And just use the,
These officers could be texting and driving.
They're not texting, we're just reading the text, pull it over, read the text and find out where it is there, Bob.
What needs to be done to implement that, Larry?
I will check with Verizon and our account, it shouldn't be a problem. It would be more or less trying to get it up on the website, so people can go on the website and see, oh, police department, any minor complaints, whatever, text to the 2800 number.
So it's 265-2800, that's the number?
Yeah, 3800, I'm sorry, it's 3800.
So there's a way that you can only make that text?
No, we could do both. I mean, I just think if it was, you can do either or, but doing a quick text, if you wanna call the phone, you call the phone. I mentioned that at one of the last meetings, to try to get that number out also. I'm sure my officers will be very pleased to be running around the village.
The line down Main Street, I don't know what the temperature requirement is to paint, it's 50.
Yeah, I don't know if they could do it right now.
Yeah, no, I kinda figured that. I just wanted to bring it to our attention again, maybe
Well-
as the weather breaks in the spring.
We can talk.
Frank, can you talk to Charlie to see if he can put that on his agenda of things to do? If we get a break in the weather,
Yeah. It doesn't take long.
no.
Yeah, I was always thinking that, for some reason, I was thinking that wasn't our responsibility, like that it was Putnam County's, but it's ours. So.
Yeah, the Main Street is
Yeah.
ours till we get up to up the High Street.
All right, yeah, okay. I think it was funny, we, in the highway report, they said I asked them to put the X's down at the bottom of Main Street. So, cause the cars parked there and people can't make U-turns and then they back up and whatever, and it gets congested when they're picking up, so now they're parking next to the X's.
I just tried to do a U-turn, come to the meeting, and I saw the cones up and the X's, which is very nice, but now we have 20 cars on this side.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, we'll try to do the best we can. As the village is getting a little more quieter due to the cold weather, I try to be a little more lenient on people, or my officers, I should say. People getting off and picking up their loved ones from the train, and I understand totally, but it really gets to be a problem when you're trying to make U-turn. You can't even do a full U-turn, which you should be able to, but you gotta back up, and it could cause an accident or something.
Well, the other problem is that everyone leaves their lights on.
Yeah.
So you're
blind-
coming down Main
coming
Street
down.
and you have
Blinded.
5 sets of lights coming up at you, you can't see.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about that, not have parking there at all.
I'll be at the next meeting, hopefully.
Okay. Justice Court, fines, forfeited bails, and civil penalties, $3,875. Parking tickets, a whooping $3,419. Civil fees, $585. Mandatory state surcharges, $2,512, for a total of $10,391. Respectfully submitted by Judge Thomas Costello. Let's see, where are we here? Report to Mayor, Board of Trustees, anything rocking and rolling, you guys? Nothing? Lennon,
Not today.
Steve?
Yeah, I met with the EQ Energy guy, their engineer, Gabriel, last Thursday or Friday. And I gave him the attorney's recommendations from their MOU, and he's taken it back, and he's pretty sure they'll be back in touch with us
Great.
within a week or so, and then we can sign it.
The CAC, to move, it's CAC, right?
CCA.
CCA,
CCA, to move that forward,
we need a resolution.
and we have to do that quickly.
Alright.
So, we have the one from Beacon that we can
Right.
modify.
That was the plan, I thought, and,
Do you wanna do that, or who do we have to do that? Cause we have to get this, I think we have 4 weeks.
I'll make sure it happens.
Alright, if you
And,
get that, and we can get that as quickly as possible.
Alright.
And
Sounds good.
agree on it or not agree, whatever, but if we
Mhm.
have that, that'd be good.
So, the rewriting of that, does that have to be done by the village attorney, or can we just,
Is it just a matter of
it would just be changing? the-
Beacon to Cold Spring?
Yeah,
Or
and a
we'd
lot
have to
of
read it,
instances. Yeah, I know.
I mean, to make sure that it's that.
I know that, but I just mean,
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean.
does it have to be completely rewritten by the attorney, or,
No, I think
Because
we
we
could,
use
we
things
could
all the
make the
time.
changes and
Yeah.
then send it to him for,
okay, yep.
but we do that quickly.
Larry has something.
Yeah,
I just ran upstairs to get the information you're looking for. All walking tours, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 walking tours. We had a total of 88 summonses.
Wow. And that's mostly Main Street then.
Yes, basically straight on Main Street, the officers walking up and down.
Nicely done.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, correspondence, whoops,
I
sorry.
think Fran
I
has
have a whole
something.
bunch of stuff.
Oh, you do? Oh, sorry, Fran.
I know, I've been saving pages and pages.
Maybe I just didn't.
You don't wanna hear it.
Yeah. No.
Okay, I have a couple of things, I
Alright.
promise I'll make it fast. As we did last year, I'd like to propose that we waive, payment of parking in the municipal parking lot for a small business weekend. What we did last year was we waived payment and had complimentary parking from the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, starting at 9 PM when parking is free, and ending the Monday after Thanksgiving at 8 AM when when we start paying for parking again. So, that's what we did last year. I'd like to make a motion that we do that again this year.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's one.
Fran, shall we go down and put a garbage bag?
I'll put a sign of some sign or other,
A turkey.
a turkey on it. I will do something, I'll put a nice sign, I promise.
Okay.
Second thing, and I promise this won't be long, we had discussed at our last meeting about making an adjustment to the employee handbook to handle the probationary period for new employees hired after September 30th. The handbook currently says for 0 to 1 year of service after probationary period, the new employee gets 20 days, and our new employees have been getting a year of probation, so that means for 20 days, they couldn't get any sick time, vacation time, or whatever. So you asked me to reword it, and I sent it around, everybody seemed to like what I wrote. So if we're okay with it, the new wording will say from 0 to 1 years of service with an asterisk, we get 20 days, and then the asterisk refers to a quote that says, for the first year of employment, PTO days will be credited and prorated on a quarterly basis. No PTO days may be taken until after the first quarter of employment, and after the first quarter, only PTO days earned and credited may be taken. So if that is okay, and everyone agrees with that, I'll ask Jeff to do
I'll make a motion that the text changes that Fran just read be updated in the employee handbook.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I believe Jeff said yes to do a resolution on
Resolution.
that.
For the employee handbook?
I think he thought he did, but I'll double check on that.
Okay.
Okay, that's that. And the last thing, and the other two I'll hold. Painting of the bathrooms. Remember one of my pet peeves. Last year, before the end of the fiscal year, we bought new paper towel holders and new soap dispensers for the bathrooms. The two here, the one in the mayor's office and the one upstairs, they need to be painted before we hang these up. We've talked about getting it done. We suggested today that we may ask our highway guys if they would come in on a Saturday, and we could pay them overtime, I believe. Between Jeff and Michelle and I, we assumed that this was not gonna take more than maybe a total of 10 hours to paint these 4 small bathrooms. Steve said he could get someone to do some patching for us, and they would do that without charging us for it, so I'd like to get this moving along, so if nobody has any problems with that, I'd like to ask Charlie if his guys would be willing to do this for us and get them done maybe before the end of the year. Any problems?
Can we ask Charlie before we give overtime if they have, I don't know what they do all the time.
Okay, I mean,
If we have to do overtime, if
Whatever.
not, if it's snowing or raining, or not snowing,
it's
obviously they'll be
snowing,
plowing.
yeah.
But if they, I don't know, if they have time and they can have spare one guy to come over, I don't know.
all right, so I will,
Before we just make it an overtime thing, I would talk to Charlie. I know they're busy with leaves for the rest of the month.
all right, I will talk to Charlie, I was just figuring they'd come in some Saturday, get it all done.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. That is, I think,
It was the procurement
the
thing. Do you wanna-
procurement, yeah, do you wanna,
Yeah,
okay, where are we? Okay, we talked about, rewording the procurement what? Policy that we had done early on, talking about the items up to $700 are left to the discretion of the purchaser. So, let me see,
and the next set was up to 3,000,
the next
was
set
the
was,
mayor or
yeah.
board of trustees, right?
Between 700 and 3,000 was the mayor board of trustees, and items above 3,000, we said the policy did not, specifically state.
Right.
So I think the part that I had looked at, it says for public works contracts, it says the contract up to 3,000 was required to sign off by the mayor, and nothing above 3,000, so we didn't really get into that, but the part I had looked at was the $700 piece, which said, $700 are left to the discretion of the purchaser, and I thought we needed to define, purchaser as being an authorized purchaser and define who, the purchaser should be, either the board chair or the chief, or a supervisor, or the officer in charge, or something to that, so I picked up that piece of it, we did not get to the.
So you wanna add that to a
Well,
list?
Oh, yeah, just a
Yeah.
list of who the purchaser is, it has to be an authorized purchaser, and we need to name who they are
Okay.
for the $700 piece of it.
And the changes need to be made to both pieces. The concern was who's to sign off. Right now, the policy only says 3,000 plus.
Right.
It doesn't say 10,000 plus, it doesn't say 20,000 plus. So anything from 3,000 on up needs to have approval by the mayor or the village board of trustees, but for both the materials and contracts. Because they're two separate pieces in the procurement policy.
Now, is there a number that you wanna hit that it should come to the board as a whole?
I'm good with it just saying.
Okay, because everything else is clear that you have to have so many, in
Ye-
writing
yes,
or
yes,
whatever. So,
right.
okay, all right, so I'm good with that.
Okay,
So if you wanna
so now I have to reword this.
reword that and bring it back and,
Okay, I'll reword it, we'll bring it back next week,
okay,
or whenever.
yeah.
That's all I have, unless you wanna do something for Greg, because you're not gonna be able to do anything for him.
Okay, so we wanted to kind of honor or, Greg Gunder and Arnie Sari for their years of service, which were from 2019, what was it, 2005?
2005 and 6.
Arnie was 2006 and Greg was 2005.
The problem is, and I had to, I had kind of thought we would just have one night and dedicate, maybe just have refreshments here or whatever. But Arnie is gonna be in Vermont for quite a while. I think his mother's ill.
Oh dear.
Or sending her, I'm not sure exactly what the story is, but sounded like he wouldn't be available. So, and Greg's leaving at the end of the month,
Yes.
so
Sorry, he's not he's resigning as of the end of the month. He's still gonna be here,
until December. Right?
through December.
Right. Okay. So, any thoughts? Since it seems like we're not gonna be able to get both of them in the
Yeah.
same room
We-
together.
We could invite Greg to come to a meeting and
Okay.
have a cake and coffee or whatever, or not.
That works. Yeah, we'd invite the members of at least the zoning board and then whoever.
Yeah. So you wanna have that on a separate night, or?
We could have it on a zoning board night.
Okay.
When is their next meeting?
I don't know.
All right, I'll check
Okay,
Find out.
You got that one? Great, okay.
and then email us,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully not tomorrow night.
Yeah, right.
They do Thursdays, their meetings, or is that a planning board?
Could run inside and look at the calendar, Greg.
Should be on the.
Okay, so moving ahead, let's see, this is a letter from Mr. Gunder. To the Mayor and Board of Trustees, please accept this letter as my official resignation from the position of Chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, as well as my resignation from the board. I will officially step down as of November 30th. As stated earlier, our family is relocating out of state as of the new year. In preparation for this major change in our lives, I need to start focusing on this transition. I will be available for questions during December if necessary. I also plan to have all files and folders up to date by end of month. This should give the ZBA a clean slate moving forward. Moving forward, as you know, Aaron Wolf has stepped up to become the new chairperson of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I sat with Aaron to review responsibilities, procedures, and processes for the chairperson. He has been a dedicated and knowledgeable member of the ZBA, and I feel he will be a great asset to the village in his new position. I want to take a moment to thank all the zoning board members for their dedication and service, Allison Antoine, Elliot Hammond, John Martin, and of course Aaron Wolf. All bring different viewpoints and strengths to our board, which makes us a very effective board. I also greatly appreciate the mayor's and the board's support in our efforts and duties. As the board moves forward, I am confident the village will continue this support. Greg Gunder. Greg's done a great job. It's not a job many people like, or a board actually, that's filled easily, and so thank you, and we'll thank you further once we find out a date. Let's see, next is the HDRB's recommendation of NP&V to conduct secret review for 20 Boulevard, also known as the Campbell Estate. Would you like to say anything on that subject, Ms. Bashan?
Well, we sent out a request for proposals to 3 consultants, and we only got 1 proposal back because the other 2 consultants said they had conflicts or potential conflicts.
Right.
And fortunately, the 1 proposal we got back was very good. Came in a little pricey. We asked them to reduce some of the scope, and they did, and it came in at, finally at around, I think it's $6,600 if I'm not mistaken.
67.
60, yeah, somewhere around there. And the 3 consultants, the lead consultant, Nelson Pope and Voorhees from Suffern, which is their Hudson Valley office. The headquarters of that firm is in Long Island. Bonnie Franson, who will be the lead person on that, formerly worked for Tim Miller quite a number of years ago, so she's familiar with the village. Rick Alfandri, the architect who will be looking at the structural reports, from Kingston, has a lot of experience as a restoration architect. And I've actually had some minor experience with him a long time ago, when I was with the state. And Joe Diamond, the archaeologist on board, actually was part of the team that worked on the EPA archaeological report on not only the Marathon site itself, but the surrounding area, and he did a bunch of work on the Hall Road. So he is also, and he's from Kingston, and he is a professor or associate professor at New Paltz in anthropology, but he is also a registered professional archaeologist, and he is also familiar with the whole foundry scene. So I think we've got a great team there, and the applicants themselves are tremendously enthusiastic about doing a whole bunch of research on the site because they think it's so cool. And we have already received an escrow deposit from them, $5,000, which is the general thing that Al asks for of our,
Right.
of that type of applicant. And they are aware that if there is more needed, that they will have to come up with it.
Right. Okay.
Not a big deal.
Was AKRF one of the ones that said there was a cited a conflict?
Yeah, they claimed there was a conflict because they continue to do work for Scenic Hudson, which is the former owner of this site. but Scenic Hudson, some of Scenic Hudson's
Connected.
previous work is being used by the current applicants, which AKRF had nothing to do with, but they still felt that that was kind of iffy and they felt uncomfortable about it.
That's good to clear, because I know we went through a whole thing where we wanted to have one person we were working with, so I was wondering why we went
Well,
there, so.
I think actually this is good because we'll have two experiences with AKRF on 126 Main and 35 Market. And then we'll have another experience with this group, so we can kind of get a feeling of,
Yeah.
you know, if we do want to go with one firm
Right.
eventually,
Yeah.
though, you know, to have three of this type of type 1 where HDRB is lead agency is extremely unusual. It's never happened before.
Right,
And we hope it doesn't happen again because these all have some demolition component, which kind of leaves us a little bit queasy. So we hope that there's less demolition, more just plain old type 2s where we can just bless them and tell them to go away.
okay, so, I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation of NP&V to conduct a secret review, for the HDRB for the 20 Boulevard application.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good
Thank you
luck
very
to
much.
you. I know there's a lot of work involved in these, so thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Should put you guys up first. Let's see, I think, are you at one, or is it minutes?
Bill Smith.
What's
Oh.
that? Yeah, Bill,
I have moved to approve, batch 4362 for the amount of $174,640.69.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes, 9/26, workshop meeting. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Oh, okay.
but there is discussion. I'll
Do
second.
We have a second discussion?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, we've got
Anne
discussion.
Marie, you're on.
Got it.
okay, in the, under old business, and first a question, this is the corner lot at Market and Main. What's the status on that? Has the person that was interested in purchasing it decided against it? Does anyone know?
Market in Maine.
Market and new, market and new.
New Street.
Market and New, thank you.
I have no idea.
Okay, I'll see if I can find out. In the third line of that paragraph, there's a semicolon, I believe it should be a comma. Picky, picky, picky. In the third paragraph, the first sentence, Mayor Morandi, blah, blah, blah. Second sentence, water and sewer engineer Bart Clark gave an estimate for between $2,000 and $3,000. I'm not sure what that estimate was for.
That was to prepare the RFP.
Yeah, or
It was not to do the work, that was to prepare the RFP, that's what
Okay,
we
that-
told you.
Okay, so, Thomas, water and sewer engineer Bart Clark gave an estimate for between $2,000 and $3,000 to prepare the RFP.
Right, he
Okay.
did that, he
Yes,
did that,
yes,
okay.
yep.
Yeah, that's the one piece I picked up.
Those are my comments on it.
Regarding the Market and New Street project, I think where we left it was that, well, my thought was that if we didn't decide if we really wanted to sell it or not. If we did, then I thought we should advertise it, and then there was also, I don't know if we had the exact measures. I think we do have we had the,
you brought that map in.
yeah, we had the map.
Yeah.
The only other thing was the fire hydrant that was on the property, you know, not to just sell it to one person, that we would advertise for it, and get bids on it.
Okay, let me see what Jeff has on that. I
Okay.
know that the map does not show the fire hydrant,
Right.
which I thought was very unusual.
Mhm.
You would think that it would be there. Also, I'll check with Jeff on this tomorrow.
Okay.
Also, the property that it appears to be ours is occupied by a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
They might have moved it off of there now. I think it's gone.
But is there a question on whether they're gonna resist that, that's our property or not? I mean. are they
No,
gonna
I don't
fight
think
us
so.
on
In
that?
fact, I think they got wind of it and moved everything
Oh,
off
that
of it.
happened?
I think.
You know, it's like people who keep moving things, encroaching on other people's property.
Yeah,
Yeah, uh-huh.
that does happen.
Yeah, it does, I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's a term for it, I don't remember.
I can't remember what it was.
Squatting or something.
Next.
So, with those corrections, which Marie just made, all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
One, next is workshop.
So Dave, you made the motion and Fran seconded it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Next workshop meeting, 10/3/17. I will again make a motion to accept. Do we have a second
Second?
discussion?
Yes, I think, let me find it.
Okay.
10-3. Yes, yes, yes. In the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth paragraph, Thomas starts, trustee early asked why the entrance to the building could not be
Oh,
opened.
how come it's not blah, blah, blah now?
These are very important words. I tried to use my biggest words in this sentence.
I think your vocabulary is bigger than that.
Since the board is currently trying, do you see that one, Thomas? Thank you. And on the page 3, title is hydroelectric presentation. Second line, water treatment plant in Cold Spring BQ Energy would sell the electricity generated by their turbine to the village at a 15% discounted rate. When I first read it, I thought that meant that the village would purchase all of the electricity generated. And what it means is, what we would do is we would purchase the electricity that we use at the site at a 15% discount, and then they, BQ Energy, would sell the rest. So if you could weave that into that paragraph. Going on to the next paragraph, the village would be required to be the lead agency under secret, so I would add an A there. We had this conversation.
Yep.
Great. And just to follow up on, in the public comment section, you may remember Frank Haggerty remarked that the flashing light by Butterfield was not flashing any longer. And I think, Lynn, you pointed out that the flashing light coming up the hill is not flashing any longer. I talked to Central Hudson about it. It's not clear whose responsibility it is to replace the light. Central Hudson thinks it's our responsibility. I've asked them to look into that, and I'll follow up with them.
Which light is this now?
This is the flashing, that slow down.
There's two, one coming in the village as you come past
Right.
the old Butterfield,
Okay.
and coming off of the flats when you come up into the
Right.
village.
Up there.
Flashing that there's a crosswalk ahead, a school
Right.
zone
Right.
ahead, and
Okay.
Nobody pays any attention to it, but it's there
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Is that it for that?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
vote?
Yes, with the corrections, that trustee Early just made, all in favor?
Aye.
Monthly meeting 10/10. Once again, make a motion to accept. For a second,
A second.
discussion, changes? Yes, no?
Yes, I have discussion.
Mhm.
This is a small one. Thomas, on the second page, Robert Flaherty reported on the following, that first bullet, a climate smart community coordinator. If you would delete the D.
Right. On the first page of that too, Thomas, the third paragraph, well, it's a sentence, Mayor Morandi stated, Roombridge Games. It should be the old VFW. Groomers Games, yeah, I don't know if I made that clear or not, but that's who's, funding the, it's still Nick Groombridge, but it's the, owners of,
Can you put it as a parentheses, Old VFW Hall? Cause I think that's what you said in the meeting,
Yeah.
but this is clarification.
anything else? With those corrections, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We got that last one, I think so, right?
Yep.
Anything else from the board? Anything from,
Oh, yeah, last month, you said the DA wanted to come over here.
what's that?
Last month, you said that the DA Tandy wanted to, district attorney wanted to come here.
Right,
Talk about the opioid stuff?
No, I don't know what he was coming for. He was wanting to get on the agenda. I was just curious about just the meeting that he was coming over for.
I forget how that ended, or if we.
We recommended that he join us in the monthly meeting
Right.
where there is a,
Time slot for him.
county report.
Right.
And I don't know the status on that, I'll check on it.
No, it doesn't matter, just curious.
You didn't miss.
I guess not, yep, just wondered.
Anything else? Have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.